Sus. A little sus if you ask me. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm coming at you with another challenge chat where I talk about the challenge Double Agents on MTV. So sorry I missed last week's episode. It has been a crazy freaking work week. Really a work year. I work in the health department, as you can imagine. The last year with the panoramic has been a little busy. So sorry about that. I'm gonna try to make this week's episode recap actually really brief as well, because I just got home from work and I'm just not feeling the greatest today. So I'm just gonna kind of give you a quick rundown of a few things I noticed about this episode, kind of my thoughts about where we're headed as we're getting close to the finals, and then I'm gonna ask you for your feedback and what you thought about this week's episode. By the way, let me know if you watched the Challenge All-Stars premiere on Paramount Plus. I actually had already been signed up for the CBS All Access app, which like converted into Paramount Plus. So I already was paying for the CBS app, so I figured I might as well not even cancel it because I get Paramount Plus now, and the Challenge All-Stars was premiering on there. So I decided I'm not going to be doing any recaps for the All-Star season, just because I want to actually truly watch it, just engage in it myself, not have to take any notes or write down anything, and just simply enjoy it. And all I have to say is it is so good so far. Only watching one episode, it is like pure nostalgia, and not just the cast members, it is just so good. Like, it just, I feel like it just transports you back in time to that good old-fashioned challenge. So if you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend. So let's just get back to Double Agents and talk quickly about this week's episode. So the episode kind of starts off with Amber and Casey trying to guess how many challenges they think are left. They're pretty much thinking, okay, the final has to be coming soon, right? So maybe there's just one more daily challenge left. It has to be coming. Kyle is starting to worry a little bit because he thinks right now the only people that really have his back are Amber B and then Big T and CT. So essentially his own partner and then that other team. He pretty much is realizing if he doesn't pull off a win, then he's gonna get thrown in no matter what. One thing I loved about this episode is that CT is training with Big T. However, I think it just goes to show that no matter the differences they have throughout the season, CT knows the finals are coming up. He's trying to prepare Big T for it and just kind of showing her these are the type of things you're going to expect. It's going to be endurance. It's going to be climbing stairs, climbing hills, whatever it is. These are the exercises that are probably going to benefit you. So if you can get your body used to it now, then hopefully you can be at least a little bit more prepared for the final. So I liked seeing that. Now when it comes time for the actual daily challenge, they did seem a little unprepared this time. Usually I feel like they have their set challenge days where when they show the footage of everyone just sitting around, they almost seem like they're not doing much, like they're just ready to go. But this time it seemed like they actually weren't ready. Like Nani had a face mask on. Some people seemed like they were just making breakfast. So it seemed like the challenge was gonna be starting off pretty early in the day. Maybe they weren't expecting the challenge that day, but regardless, it's time to go to the challenge. And it's going to be a challenge where they're rolling around in these balls. And all I have to say is I would be super dizzy once TJ explains what they're going to be doing. So the challenge is called Global Domination. There are 2 rounds and one team is going to be playing offense twice. And since Casey and Leroy won the last challenge, of course, they get to decide which team is going to be on offense twice. So of course they're going to pick themselves to go on offense twice, because then they have 2 opportunities to rack up as many points as they can or run their ball over as many targets as they can. Whichever team goes over the most targets is going to win that challenge. So the teams that are on defense are pretty much just trying to block each other from going over the targets, and it's played in 2 rounds. In that first round, they put Cam and Corey on defense. Really smart, because obviously Cam and Corey are not going to go after Casey and Leroy. So it gives Casey and Leroy a great opportunity to get as many targets as they can. Now Big T and CT were the other team on offense in that first round, so it seemed like everyone was ganging up on them. Understandably, they want to do everything they can to get CT gone and make sure CT is not in that fight. So just looking at my notes, in that first round, Leroy and Casey definitely went over a lot of targets. CT and Big T did go over some, but like I said, everyone was ganging up on them. It didn't seem like they really went over a lot. And then Nany and Fessy were on offense that first round as well, and they seemed like they were going over quite a few. So at this point, I felt like it could be neck and neck between Nany and Fessy and Casey and Leroy. In the second round, it was Nany and Fessy on defense and Big T and CT on defense. And then to skip over all the specifics, when the second round was over, TJ said only one target or 1 point separated the top 3 teams, and Casey and Leroy ended up winning, which luckily they went twice. I would be really curious to know which round it was that they got the most targets. Was it that first round that they went on offense, or was it the second round that they went on offense? Now this is where things are starting to get tricky, because Amber B is realizing she's probably not as aligned with Big Brother as she was hoping to be at this point in the game. But I mean, it's getting so hard. You know, you don't have a lot of teams yet. You have this really solid Big Brother alliance that's already in. Of course, they strung Amber along because she was a Big Brother player, but you're getting down to the wire here. So obviously with Casey and Leroy being the winners, I mean, you gotta think about it. He's not throwing his girlfriend Cam into elimination. He's definitely not throwing his friend Nany into the elimination. So that really just leaves Big T and CT, or Amber B and Kyle. I mean, there's just no other options. So those pretty much are going to be the 2 to go against each other, and Amber B just seems upset by this. She even tries to talk to Casey about it and say, hey, you know, I gave you the chance to get your gold skull. Can't you throw me a bone too? And Casey's just kind of saying like, you know, I don't know what you want me to do. And Amber is kind of seeing it as a betrayal. And, you know, with it being her rookie season, I can see how those lines could get blurred for her. But I think over time, she'll kind of come to realize that you can't make everyone happy, and especially Leroy. Like, you know, he's already said this is his final season. He has to do what's best for his game. And because Casey is attached to Leroy, I mean, she pretty much has to do what Leroy wants to do at this point. And so I know Amber's upset, but there's really not much you can do. So when it comes time for the house vote, they make Amber B and Kyle the house vote. But before that, Kyle was hoping that it would be more of a tie. So him and CT, well, him and CT, even though it was more so Kyle, were trying to come up with a scheme to maybe get it so it would be a tie vote, and then somehow it would stop Kyle from going in. I don't really know what he was thinking, but he was hoping that if they could get the house to vote 50-50, then the tiebreaker for the house vote would be decided there at the crater elimination. Instead, CT kind of goes back on his word, because originally he said, okay, I will vote for Nany and Fessy, and then Kyle was gonna vote for, you know, Nany and Fessy, and then everyone else would vote for Kyle and Amber B. So what would happen is the house would be split 50-50. But CT went back on his word, and he actually just ended up voting in Kyle and Amber B, which makes sense because, one, why would you even want a tie? I mean, like I just mentioned, there's pretty much no chance that Kyle and CT, those teams weren't going to go against each other. I just don't see that not happening. And so why make it so complicated? And like CT said, if he had to go into elimination, he wants to go against someone that he can beat. Is it shady to go against one of your friends over, you know, someone that's not your friend? Like maybe Fessy or Corey? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I feel like you kind of got to do what's best for your game. So long story short, what happens is Kyle and Amber B are the house vote, despite their little scheming plan that Kyle was hoping would happen. CT does own up to it though, so it's not a shocker when they get to the elimination. CT had told Kyle ahead of time. He said, hey Kyle, I gotta tell you, I voted for you. And Kyle was like, really dude? Like, you lied to me. I'm like, okay Kyle, you lied to everybody, but all right bud. So it's gonna be Kyle and Amber B being the house vote, and of course Leroy and Casey are going to vote in the other team, and we all know they're gonna vote in Big T and CT. I mean, there's no other option. We know that's coming. So of course, when it's time to vote, that's who they vote in. And I forgot to say, when they get there, you see that it's Hall Brawl set up. And what is hilarious is as I was scrolling through Twitter, I saw a tweet that said, if CT is going into elimination, or if CT gets voted in tonight, then it's going to be a girls elimination challenge. And if not, then it's going to be a men's. And then once CT and Big T get voted in and it's a hall brawl, they say, TJ says it's a women's elimination. Sus. A little sus if you ask me. So people are starting to speculate that production might be trying to rig or keep CT around a little bit longer. I'm not sure if I really buy into that conspiracy theory. Let me know what you think. I have seen those allegations in the past when it comes to a lot of these long-standing vets, CT, West, Johnny Bananas. They want to keep them around longer, so they do these different methods to kind of keep them around as long as they can, just because people know they love the vets, they love those legends, they want them to stick around as long as possible for the ratings. Let me know if you think production rigged this to be a girls' week or not, because it was just a women's elimination, so you would think it would be a men's elimination. I personally thought it was going to be a double. Get 2 people out of there and then let's go to the finals, but nope. We still have 3 more episodes total, I believe, and it was only women's tonight. So it's Amber B versus Big T. And CT is like, just remember those drills we did. There's a flashback, if I can find it, I'll insert the clip, where they were practicing hall brawl, you know, methods and skill and technique. So I really was rooting for Big T, and I don't dislike Amber at all, but it's been so fun to watch Big T. And so when it does start, you know, Amber she just has the upper hand, and Amber ends up winning both rounds. There is one round where it seems like Big T really is putting in a fight, but she just doesn't have the size or the strength on Amber, and Amber ends up winning, so she wins. Amber B decides that she's gonna pick Fessy as a partner. And I'm just like, what is it with Fessy? Why is everyone so obsessed with Fessy? Did no one watch last season when he gassed out in the final? Clearly not. I just don't get the appeal. He's a dick. He doesn't seem like a good partner. I don't know why anyone would want to run the final with him. But whatever. So Amber B won. She picked Fessy, which means Nany just lost Fessy. So now Nany has to pick someone, either CT or Kyle. Now, Nany did work with Kyle earlier in the season, and personally, I know she likes Kyle as a friend, but I thought she said she didn't like Kyle that much as a partner. She really just liked Josh as a partner. But then she runs to Kyle and says, Kyle, I want you back. And everyone is like, no, Nany, what are you doing? Because that just made CT the rogue agent, which means he's not going to participate in next week's challenge, which means he can't be thrown in the next elimination, which will probably be men's, which means he might have a free ride to the final. So everyone's pretty ticked at Nany, thinking she wasn't really thinking too smart. She might have just gave CT his ticket to the final. And personally, I think I might have picked CT over Kyle. Kyle does have really good endurance though, so I don't know. That's a toss-up. Do you think Nany made the right decision for her game? That's it for this week's challenge chat. Tried to keep it a little short, so I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes. Let me know if you started to watch the Challenge All-Stars or not. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my next challenge chat, and I will see you in my next video.